Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Here we are again on our 7th RSK Ecosystem update. Super exciting projects presenting today with us. New integrations on the RSK ecosystem and DeFi for Bitcoin ecosystem that keeps on growing. Before we start with our speakers, I have a few notes and mentions from other projects that either have already presented or will present in the future. So BISC Network has integrated with the RSK ecosystem. Welcome BISC to the DeFi for Bitcoin ecosystem. I think they'll be presenting in the near future. The Bula Network has also integrated in the recent weeks. Well, BabelFish is going through a major announcement and governance token launch today, but we will have them today presenting. So this is, we're going to hear from them directly. And just a general reminder, we have the Reef Relay service already live in production. This used to be called enveloping, and is what enables wallets to pay the RSK gas transaction fees directly with the token that the users are willing to use. So you can send dollar on chain or Reef dollar or Reef or any other token on the RSK blockchain and pay the RBTC fees directly with that same token. So make sure if you're a wallet that you are integrating Reef Relay. It really makes the user experience completely different and much easier for users. Also, we are in a very important moment because we are 13 days away from El Salvador becoming or getting Bitcoin as legal tender. For our next RSK ecosystem update, we already will have the first country in the world that uses Bitcoin as legal tender. There's a special group of RSK Partners and DeFi for Bitcoin solutions that get together every 2 weeks, I believe, to explore how we can help El Salvador. There's a very strong feeling of commitment and how to help people from El Salvador and this Bitcoin law to be successful. So if any of you in the audience or the projects presenting want to participate, just let us know. You can write me or Max or Fran, and we will make sure you participate in this group. It's a fully decentralized group of projects trying to help El Salvador, which I think is super exciting and very important. So with no further ado, I'll invite our first speaker, Paul Puey from Edge. Is one of the most successful wallets in this space, and Paul is an all-timer in the ecosystem as well. So it's a pleasure to have you here, Paul, and welcome to the RSK Ecosystem Update.
Great, thanks so much for having me. I'm happy to share what we've been up to, who we are, what we do. I know I've only got a few minutes, don't have any slides, so I just want to give people a brief update on what they can expect in Edge and also what we have kind of going forward. So I'm Paul Puey, CEO and co-founder of Edge. We co-founded the company actually quite a while ago, about 2014, originally with the name Airbits. So a lot of people may have used Airbits, which was an app focused on payments, really allowing people to send and receive Bitcoin, had a merchant directory so people could find where they could spend Bitcoin. I was really big on utility of Bitcoin, not just a store of value. But our big differentiator was how we secured private keys. Our goal was to eliminate a lot of the complexity of having to write down keys. And back then you even had to save files or save PDF files. So we built Airbits at the time such that you just created what felt like a cloud account, but it was self-custody. I'm not a maximalist in most ways, but in self-custody I am. So I'm a self-custody maximalist. Make sure people hold and control their own funds, which is what makes me so excited about DeFi. All right, it's not just holding your own funds to send and receive, but holding your own funds or a contract holding the funds, code holding the funds for financial services. We pivoted to Edge in 2018, allowing people to transact with multiple different chains, currency side chains such as RSK, because we felt that there was a proliferation of use cases, outside of just the core layer 1 Bitcoin blockchain. And with that, we allowed people to really have rich exchange functionality, being able to go to and from various different assets, different tokens, coins, because with the proliferation of the functionality came proliferation of coins. So some things that we've done, we've been big supporters of the rootstock ecosystem, with at least early on support for RBTC inside of the app. I think as early as 2019, if not early 2020, we'd supported that. And then now people can use Edge directly inside of the app to both send, receive, acquire RBTC from other assets, as well as to enable any tokens that are on the are on the entire chain. You can simply manually add tokens, even if we don't specifically support it. You can easily manually add the tokens, with a contract address and currency code, and have full support for any token on the RSK chain. Some things as well that are potentially quite relevant to the ecosystem is the fact that Edge is built as an SDK, which means that people can build other apps using the same kind of login subsystem and functionality, encryption, key management that you see in Edge. So if you're an Edge user and at the same time you might be looking at developing another DeFi project, and you don't want the interface of having a user have to go to MetaMask to sign into your application or download another dApp browser and whatnot, you can actually have the key management necessary inside your app, baked into your app without a user having to go anywhere else. And we have it's not something we market very heavily. Our B2B side, the SDK side isn't something that we focus on very heavily. It's more of the application of Edge itself. But it is something that's available. And one of the beauties of that SDK and key management platform is that anybody that already has Edge on their phone and already has an account doesn't have to create another account inside of your application. They can single sign on, basically like scan a barcode and then they're signed into the application, but they don't need to have that. They don't need to have a different application. They can go directly into your app and sign in. As well, our team is hugely excited about the DeFi space. So I've been an avid user of DeFi for the past year, specifically around taking loans. And a lot of people think DeFi is, well, it's the slot machine gambling, liquidity mining, throw some tokens here, hopefully I get an airdrop. But I'm mostly excited about its use case to replace centralized equivalents, whether it be interest-bearing accounts or loans, hedging, trading, and whatnot. So with the proliferation of DEXs, that's something we've already integrated in Edge, so people can trade tokens that so far just on the Ethereum network to and from, but we're excited to do the same thing on the RSK network. And probably the bigger thing that I'm excited about is being able to do financial services such as take out a crypto collateralized loan. Right now I have to do this through a chain of swaps to get into the Ethereum network, but doing this natively on Rootstock is what I would consider to be kind of the gold standard, right? Being able to really take true Bitcoin, not having to cross-chain through it, not having to transfer through chains with a trusted counterparty, but be able to go directly into RBTC, collateralize that Bitcoin, and then take out a loan in a stable coin such as DOC and get that into my bank account. It's something, that process is something that I've used by using multiple different apps and realizing how tedious it is to have to deal with a swap service, have to deal with a DEX, and then also have to deal with an exchange to get dollars into your bank account. Because one of the big reasons to collateralize a loan is so you can use your money, so you can use your dollars, but not have to sell your Bitcoin. So all of that is kind of disjunct. It's multiple steps. It's very intimidating. We aim to fold all this together directly inside Edge. Might be a subset of the functionality you would get directly from the dApp, but it would be one that would be buttery smooth. And so we are looking for multiple different projects and studying the APIs to these smart contracts to see what are some good ones to integrate to provide this type of functionality. And other things that we'd like to offer to really compete with the centralized exchange equivalents are more advanced trading functionality such as shorts and leverage. So projects out there that can provide that type of DeFi functionality, we would be very interested in, and hopefully also allow those contracts to get support directly from within Edge and allow the users to access them in a single, more unified experience, as opposed to having to bounce around left and right. And then lastly, outside of just our project, I've been a big member of the community in cryptocurrency and really wanting to support the efforts of other projects, helping onboard new users, educating other users into Bitcoin and crypto. And one thing that I've done has been part of the meetup community here in San Diego, and we've kickstarted after a year and a half of it being pretty quiet, with COVID. And so, if there are projects out there that would like to present and really get some visibility within at least the community here in California, in Southern California, and San Diego, and you happen to be in the area at some point in the future, definitely reach out. Let us know. We help participate in facilitating the events here in our office. We've got a nice little event space that can handle about 100 people. So we'd love to hear how some of these projects are doing and how they function, and get some insight from the community and sometimes some critique. But that's always healthy. You want to get the hard questions. And so definitely reach out to us if there is something that is interesting. You have a representative in California that would like to present. And if anything, we both get to learn from that presentation, potentially partner, and then get more exposure for that project across all of the users in Edge, and as well as the people and community here in Southern California. So with that, thanks a whole lot for having me. Look forward to hearing what some of the other projects have in store. And of course, if people have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can easily get in contact with our team just by going to our website, edge.app. Pretty simple URL, edge.app. We don't misspell anything like gift and lift, LY. It's just good old-fashioned edge.app. You can find our Twitter site. I'm on Twitter. Pretty easy to find. And yeah, we'd be happy to answer any questions and look forward to hearing feedback from people.
Thank you so much, Paul. It's super useful for all the projects to get this welcoming in San Diego to present to the community. And I also love your vision as a maximalist on the key management side.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're going to love what Money on Chain is doing, for instance, enabling Bitcoiners to put their Bitcoins as collateral to get a passive income and enable stable coins with collateral in Bitcoin. Sovereign
as well.
Yeah, Sovereign is also enabling this DeFi functionality built on top of Bitcoin as Tropicus, which is a Colombian-based project that is focused on loans, on bringing DeFi to real users that need this technology. So thank you so much. Is there anything you can share about the user base? Because I know it's a huge user base, the one you guys have in Edge. I don't know if it's a public number or something that you can share so people understand the...
Yeah, we can give some kind of rough numbers. So we are pretty strong on privacy. So that's one thing that you kind of didn't mention. Our application, unless you go inside our app to purchase Bitcoin from a bank account or from cash, by and large, doesn't ask for any personal information. You create an account in Edge with just a username and password. So we don't actually know how many physical human beings are using Edge. But as far as the accounts created on our ecosystem, we've got we're approaching a couple million accounts, which, gosh, at one point I thought that was a lot, but our crypto's gotten so big that now it doesn't feel like much. But we've got, over 1 million, approaching 2 million accounts created on the platform with 6-figure active users, per month. So pretty respectable number. And it's definitely given us some good exposure and made us a pretty healthy company. So
yes, absolutely.
Some more folks, and we definitely want to hear feedback from people on ways that we can improve.
Congratulations, and it's great to know that every token can be added manually
absolutely
to the wallet, and probably you want to follow up with some of the ecosystem teams to see if we can enable it natively. So thank you very much, Paul, for being here with us, and to the whole Edge team. Congratulations for the success and for being part of the RSK ecosystem.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, Gabriel.
Thanks, Paul. And now with this, we can move to our next speaker. It's Leon from BabelFish. This is a new project coming into the RSK ecosystem focused on stablecoins, and with a big day and a governance token being launched. So, Leon, go ahead. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Gabriel. Pleasure to be here. And also, Paul, thank you for your presentation just now. Big fan of Edge since the early days. Awesome. So so today I'm here speaking on behalf of BabelFish. BabelFish is a project that launched in the first week of June, the alpha product, which is called XUSD. And XUSD is an aggregator of stablecoins with the main objective, the primary objective in the short term, is to bring over the 100 billion plus of stablecoin liquidity that exists in chains outside of Rootstock and port them over to Rootstock through our meta stablecoin XUSD. So what are stablecoins? If you're listening to this conversation, you're pretty familiar with what stablecoins are. It's just a way to track the value of a dollar, and the way that you can do this is whether either you have a centralized model with a bank in the mid space, with one-to-one dollars to stablecoins, or you can collateralize it with a digital asset like Ethereum, in which case it's not so capital efficient, just because of the extra percentage of collateral you need in case of high price variations. And then there's also some very cool models that we have not seen a lot, which are the algorithmic stablecoins, which is basically, a way to create your own central bank in a way, where you incentivize users to, to sell the collateral or buy according to demand and supply. And so there's a lot of things that have been happening around stablecoins. Next. We're calling the dollar the currency of crypto, which, for an RSK ecosystem update, I think it's relevant. So there's only one person once said, I remember this perfectly, like there is only Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency in the space, and everything else are digital assets, right? But then you have stablecoins. So then the only currencies that you have in the space that we're in, it's Bitcoin and stablecoins. So no matter where you go, whether you're in decentralized finance or in centralized finance, most of the prices have the base currency, they're quoted in dollars. If you ask people whether they're in Argentina or if they're in Japan or they're in Germany, how much is one Bitcoin, they're likely to tell you it's 48K. They're not going to give you prices in pesos or in euros. Initially, stablecoins were created just for traders because that was the initial use case of Bitcoin as well. It was just speculation, buying and selling. And so traders needed a simple way to park their gains overnight and, not worry that they would wake up the next day and maybe, lost whatever they had made. And it's just an easier way to, to manage your P&L. And so, if you look at the velocity of stable coins, which is, it can be calculated simply by dividing, the volume over the market cap. Stable coins have the largest volume in the ecosystem. Tether, which is the largest stablecoin today, and has been always, has the largest volume. It's a coin with the largest volume in the space, and so is USDC, and so are BUSD. So there is a lot of transactions happening with stablecoins, and it's basically the foundation for this whole economy that we're building. Next. Originally, the stablecoins were not really something that was had. Obviously, we're here for to abandon the dollar. The ultimate goal that we have, or the vision that many of us have, especially in the rootstock ecosystem, is hyper Bitcoinization. It's sometimes it's a bit of disconnect to be working on the Bitcoin space, but then also feeling like you're doing Uncle Sam's bidding by promoting the use of the dollar. But we see it differently. We believe that dollars are the trusted network, and that we are hacking into a trustless network. And so this is a great opportunity to innovate around stablecoins, to onboard users with currencies that they're familiar with, and the dollar being the biggest network of a familiar currency out there, it makes sense that it's become the currency of crypto. But there is a big problem, right? There are problems of centralization in our space. Beginning with the banks, most of the CFI services, centralized finance services out there, like BlockFi or Celsius, Galaxy, they're all relying on a handful of banks. So these are, a few points of failure that have been identified. And then even if you're a purely DeFi service and you do not have a bank account, most likely you're highly reliable on centralized stablecoins. So if you look at those charts over here, you can see that clearly the biggest winners are USDT, USDC, and BUSD. Then you have DAI. DAI from MakerDAO, it's a great example to follow of how we can create a dollar-pegged stablecoin that is backed by cryptocurrency and with a functioning DAO. But even DAI has its own problems because over 50% of the collateral in DAI today relies on USDC. So we're running with it, and we are seeing the space evolve very quickly. Stablecoins supply or float outstanding, as you can see, has grown massively just over the past year. Whereas, just in 2018, 3 years ago, it was under 5 billion. So we're seeing a massive 20x growth here, and we don't expect this to slow down. We're actually expecting to reach $1 trillion in stablecoin float outstanding within the coming 12 months. Next. Next slide, please. Yeah. So, so there's plenty of risks in the stablecoin space. Stablecoins, or it's really a misnomer, right? It's just really coins that are stabilized around a currency. That's the long form of saying what stablecoins do. But there are a lot of risks. There is a big appetite for stablecoins to facilitate trading, clearly, and that's why we're seeing high rates for lending your stablecoins. That means there's a high demand, to go long Bitcoin. But there's big risks. There's nobody likes to talk about potentially the major stablecoin, not being backed 100%. Or perhaps having the New York district attorney confiscating part of it. What would happen then? It's a big risk that would really affect this space if something like that were to happen. Then you have also redeemability risks, right? There's been cases in the past, for example, Huobi, the exchange, they had the Huobi USD, which was sort of like an aggregated meta stablecoin, and there was a moment when they needed to redeem Gemini USD, and they couldn't. And they lost some funds in there because the Gemini USD had lost its peg. So we've seen examples of that. We're also seeing a lot of incoming regulatory risks. Governments seem to be really preparing to roll out CBDCs, and we are not sure yet how that will happen. Will it be in collaboration with the banks, sort of like a retail CBDC, or will it be like a whole CBDC where banks may not be as important, or will it be partnerships with stablecoins that are following all the guidelines like USDC? That is yet to see. But again, these are risks that we're perceiving in the industry. Then you have also governance risks. So, for example, DAI is doing a very good job right now, but algorithmic stablecoins, which are highly reliant on a very functional and quick DAO, we're still in our infancy in DAOs. DAOs are going to evolve a lot, in the coming years, but we really need solutions that, can adapt faster, if an algorithmic stablecoin, for example, were to lose its peg. Same goes for technical risks, right? There could be, smart contract risks and bugs like that. But the biggest risk or inefficiency that we see in the space is scalability, right? So there's lack of fungibility across brands and chains. So if we go to the next slide, please. It makes no sense that even though all of these stable coins are competing to be the same commodity, which is $1, they're all like different flavors or different colors. So if I have $1 and you have $1, they smell the same, they are all green. But with stable coins, it's not like that. They don't trade one-to-one. You usually need to go to a couple intermediaries. And so what that does is that, it's just inefficient, and we're not leveraging the aggregated liquidity that stablecoins can have, and the aggregated utility, by connecting. Every stablecoin is serving specific use cases, specific markets. And so it makes no sense that we're not working together as an industry to have a better chance of competing against CBDCs or large centralized stablecoin issuers. Next. So the original idea for BabelFish, it's an idea that was actually brewing towards the end of 2017. We had witnessed we were researching all of these risks, doing stablecoin industry-focused industry events, and the idea was to create, a market for risks around stablecoins that would enable the community to decide which stablecoins to aggregate, which not. And that was back in 2018. There were no lending markets. And so the idea was a bit early, but since then, we were seeing the risks that we were just discussing, and these risks have only become much bigger. So fast forward to 2021, we saw that Sovereign launched the project, and there was a lot of BTC liquidity, but they needed to bring stablecoins. Now that we have lending markets, we did a very simple proposal. We said, great, we can create an XUSD aggregator where we accept currently USDT, USDC, Binance USD, and DAI. But what we need is a DAO that can vote for potentially even lending this part of this collateral as a bank does, but then reinvesting the yield by converting it to RBTC, which is an advantage of being built on rootstock, and creating a social insurance pool in case there is some risk, and how to reward the governance that way. So we created this very simple proposal. I think that this design went really viral. People really liked it, and it really summarizes in a few words what we're trying to do. So the whole idea of BabelFish, it's really to lend the collateral, and then with the yield, use it to create a social insurance pool. And so for that to happen, if you go to the next slide, please, we need to launch a DAO, right? So the decentralized autonomous organization that we're seeking to build needs to create standards on how do we aggregate and distribute these different stablecoins? What are the standards for risk diversification that we want? How do we measure the percentage of each stablecoin that we should have in each basket, in each chain? How do we incentivize or disincentivize when we need more or less deposits in one stablecoin, in one chain? And so that's what the DAO will be in charge of before effectively beginning to lend out some of the collateral and beginning to integrate with other stablecoins, like for example, UST. It's a great community that we're in conversations with, or True USD. But I'm happy to also report that we will be adding RDoc, which is a reef-backed dollar from rootstock, just to also facilitate RDoc users to take part in deeper stablecoin liquidity of these aggregated stablecoins. But also, if they wish, they can come to BabelFish, put in their RDoc, and then move to a different chain. So we have a lot of big dreams, a lot of big goals, a lot of things to be proposing and discussing in this DAO, which our vision is to make it like a stablecoin research and development DAO, where we can give a chance to also the long tail of stablecoins that have a very small chance of competing against large centralized issuers to come and join us and defend why we should add them into this basket. Next. So this is what BabelFish is. We're a relatively pseudonymous team, because it's not about a CEO or a CTO. We're really a distributed team from South America and from Europe and from the Middle East and from Africa. We have a lot of people working in this from behind the scenes, and it's completely open on Discord. And these are some of the values that you can see on our website. This is a graffiti that somebody from the community made. And next slide. We're really excited about the growth that we've been having. We launched first week of June, and we are already at about close to 13 million XUSD issued. That's backed one-to-one by other stablecoins. And this is just the beginning. Now today, we had our fish token sale, and we basically sold 4.76% of the supply in 30 minutes. It ran out. And so we're really excited to be starting with the next phase, which is enabling stablecoin R&D and really taking XUSD to the next level and bringing a lot of stablecoin liquidity over to rootstock and facilitate better Bitcoin trading, and ideally, integrate with many more partners like Tropicus and Defiant Wallet. Equality is also integrating with us, but then also, move XUSD and truly make it a multi-chain stablecoin translator. So that's it in brief where we are. Hope you check out our communities, participate in the DAO, and share your insights with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leon. It's a wonderful and very interesting project. The problems that you mentioned that exist in the ecosystem are real, are there. The lack of liquidity, it's a major problem, especially for the most decentralized stablecoins. So I think BabelFish could play a key role in this ecosystem. Is the XUSD already listed on Sovereign, and can people lend it or put it there to generate passive income?
Yeah, so XUSD, it's already listed in Sovereign. We really want to thank the sovereign community for trusting our project. Part of our huge and rapid growth has been because of sovereign's adoption of XUSD to basically bridge over stablecoins, and we expect to be integrating, potentially next month with Tropicus and as well as Defiant Wallet.
Awesome, great. I also have a question. Many Bitcoiners are big fans of the dollar on chain, the stablecoin with collateral in Bitcoin. Are there plans to integrate that into BabelFish in the near future?
Yeah. So first we're going to start with RDoc, which we also believe is really, really important. And then after adding RDoc, we don't see a reason to also enable Doc to be part of the same basket. If people so choose to use it that way, they can also keep. I know that in Sovereign they can choose to keep on using it as Doc itself, unless instead of using it as XUSD, but the slippage may be a bit higher that way. And so yeah, that's definitely our priority, is to list RDoc as well as RDoc, and integrate all across the RSK ecosystem. We've been getting a lot of feedback from the IOV Labs community as well. And that is also why we're right now, even though the protocol has been reviewed internally and externally, we're also right now there's another audit ongoing with the support of IOV Labs, and that's it makes complete sense that that I think that's what RSK wants to do, which is to sustainably grow an ecosystem where everything is connected to each other, and that risk is reduced.
Yes, absolutely. Everything we do is done by Bitcoiners and for Bitcoiners, and we get this ethos of security and protecting users. So congratulations to the whole BabelFish team. It's an amazing project. I'm so happy to see that you've been very successful on the Fish token. And I invite everyone in the space to get in touch with the BabelFish team, to participate in the Discord and get involved. Thank you so much, Leon, and send my regards and congratulations to the whole BabelFish community.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you so much. So now with this, we can move to our next couple of speakers. We have Steph and Mauricio from the ACDI project. As many of you know, the core of the RSK existence has been linked to social development and positive impact in society. And the ACDI project is very linked to that motto. So it's a pleasure for me to present you, Steph, to learn more about this project.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Fran and Gaku, for offering this opportunity. I'm here with Mauricio Moresco. He's the project leader of ACDI. It's a social organization dedicated to triple impact development in Latin America. We are presenting today an innovation challenge that will reward DeFi solutions to be implemented in the Granchaco region and other parts of Latin America, with the purpose of boosting the green recovery, green economy. This challenge is financed by the Inter-American Development Bank and a participation of IOV Labs in the organization. It is also supported by
can we clarify what Chaco region is? It's a very poor country in the north of Argentina.
The Granchaco and the organizations. Yes,
okay.
Sure. We're also supported by strong allies from Latin America and Europe, and I think I'm very glad to present here because I think it's a unique opportunity to position the RSK DeFi on Bitcoin ecosystem in the center of one of the hottest topics of the moment: environmental impact and climate change. Next, please. Our initial goal is to boost the green recovery of Granchaco with the perspective of replicating the success cases in other parts of Latin America, thanks to the support of the IDB. Nevertheless, if you're already working in other regions on similar projects, your solutions will also be considered and supported. We're seeking existing and functioning DeFi solutions. That's important. This challenge is not for ideas to be developed from scratch, okay? We have at the moment $80,000 to distribute among 4 to 5 solutions, and the money should be used for territorial implementation. That might include adapting interface or functionalities of to the reality of the target population. You know, they're mostly under-equipped and under-educated in terms of technology and finance tools. Fran will share the link to the challenge in the chat, so you can participate to the challenge. Okay. So next, please. So before giving you a more detailed overview of the solutions we're looking for, let me quickly tell you about El Granchaco. It's one of the poorest regions of Latin America, hosting the second most important biome with native forests after Amazonia, and it's the largest area with semi-arid forests in the world. This land is home to a broad cultural mosaic of different populations, and they maintain an intimate connection with the environment as their principal source of livelihood. Yet poverty and climate change are hitting hard on this region, and galloping deforestation is threatening this major lung of our planet. So ACDI, founded with other public, private, and civil actors of El Granchaco, the aggregation called The Future is in the Forest. It's a wide ecosystem with a systemic approach called collective impact model to promote triple impact business models in the fields of forestry, livestock, beekeeping, wood industry, non-wood forest products, and handcraft creations. I could not stress enough on the fact that this challenge is not a charity call. It's a way to call the attention of the ecosystem, of the DeFi ecosystem, on real and impactful business opportunities that this aggregation is willing to help you win. Okay, so next slide, please. So now I'll show you the problems we are facing and want to solve, and examples of how we see DeFi could help, hoping that you'll be even more creative and bring us more ideas to solve these problems, of course. The first sub-challenge, if you want, of a call is to increase green financing. So how can we use DeFi tools and tokenization to boost forest finance? You know, restoring the forest requires long-term, 20 to 25 years investments. It also requires that the forest keepers live in decent conditions and have financial stability, so they don't need to cut the trees to survive. So for example, by tokenizing forest assets and creating a secondary market, we could have an alternative to institutional funding and give to millions of small investors the possibility to fund forestation projects while maintaining a correct degree of liquidity, you know, realistic for small investors. Another useful solution that we can imagine would be a results-based payment system for the forest keepers that would secure the good care of both plantations and the forest keepers. Next, please. So another question is, can DeFi drive more dynamic and transparent green finance for productive redevelopment? You know, in this example, charcoal production in El Chaco region is still using ancestral techniques that are toxic and dangerous for both workers and the environment. Yet today, there are clean and safe solutions that are proved to increase business rentability. Could we think, it's an idea, you know, but could we think of applying the ICO's models to productive reconversion projects, thus offering investors a low-risk investment option? This kind of project could perfectly be combined with blockchain solutions for traceability, responsible use of resources, and impact certification, for example. Next, please. The second sub-challenge is to promote sustainability. Next, please. Fran. Thank you. So in this example, this is a honey business that ACDI has helped to become fair trade and organic. They build a brand and export through new commercial channels. Still, they need credit to expand and cash flow management solutions to deal with seasonal buyings and exportation payment delays, etc. The problem here is a well-known problem for us. It's informality, of course, and absence of banking institutions in the rural zones. So can DeFi bring finance tools and access to credit to these small and medium businesses? Next, please. Now, in this example, ACDI worked in transforming handcrafted local production into collaborative and sustainable production. Designs were improved to reach broader markets and new commercial channels. Some pieces produced by these communities are real pieces of art, and we're wondering, could NFTs participate to the protection and payment of these products? And by the way, I'm very happy because I just learned that Watafan just sent a proposal on our platform. So thank you. And hi, Tony. I know he's listening to us. Okay, so most of handcrafted products are expensive and cannot compete with industrial products. Yet each piece has protected a person, a culture, an environment. So a very interesting solution for us would be, for example, to split the price into market price and positive impact cost in a way. A consumer maybe could choose to pay full price or market price, and the positive impact cost could be covered by another actor, maybe a company, as part of its social responsibility program. Next, please. So the last sub-challenge is to support those who take care of the environment. Next, please. ACDI helped this goat dairy producer to improve quality, create a brand, and develop commercial channels. Yet, with a 50% inflation rate like we have in Argentina, and no possibility to even buy dollar bills in the streets in a remote location, this entrepreneur has no way to save, no life insurance, and sure enough, no retirement plan of any sort. We need solutions that allow these people to save at least $1 per day in stablecoins and have access to financial tools and services. Next, please. In this last example, ACDI helped improve access to water and irrigation techniques. Yet the climate instability strikes hard on these small producers. Traditional insurance companies only provide climate insurance to large extensions for obvious cost-related reasons. Yet DeFi micro-insurance solutions combined with oracles and IoT can generate instant payment in case of a catastrophe, thanks to sensors and satellite images, for example. Several actors we know are already working on these solutions, and we are eager to implement them in the region. Next, please. So thank you all for your attention. We received proposals until the 20th of September. Maybe you realized your solution could be presented. Maybe you thought of another solution. Maybe you could recommend to us existing solutions that we've not detected yet. And they can be from other ecosystems, because part of the challenge is to integrate these solutions to RSK, so it's taken into account. So anyways, please contact us. Each solution will receive mentoring in order to get the selection to the selection process with the best chance to win. So we'll share with you the links to the projects, to ACDI, the future is in the forest, and the Telegram chat. So please prefer the Telegram chat to ask all the questions you want, and visit the Social Lab website to postulate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Steph, Mauricio. Congratulations for everything you guys are doing. These are the kind of projects that move our souls. You know, we're all very concerned on global warming, what's happening in the world, and dreaming on solutions from the DeFi ecosystem, helping to solve real problems. It's why we are all building this ecosystem together. I know Ruben also is a great fan of ecology and finding innovative ways to protect. So I'm sure he also is going to be.
He's actually part of the team mentoring projects during the pre-selection, of course. Yes, he joined.
Yes. And I think it's great to promote this kind of ecological responsibility more and more within the DeFi ecosystem. So thank you very much. Congratulations. And please, everyone in the space, participate, join, and hopefully get a grant to apply our technologies to build a better world. So thank you so much, Steph and Mauricio. And with this, we give the stage to our new speaker, Hector Hernandez. I'm a big fan of dexFreight. It's one of the early partners of the RSK ecosystem and actually building real logistic solutions benefiting from DeFi for Bitcoin. So welcome, Hector, to the stage, and looking forward to see the news about dexFreight.
Thank you, Gakko. Always a pleasure to share the stage with such a group of startups and projects. So for the ones that don't know anything about dexFreight, again, my name is Hector Hernández, CSO and co-founder. We've been an early supporter and believer of the vision of RSK. And we are simplifying logistics for a better world. We do that with a fintech-enabled market network for logistics or freight companies to move shipments from booking to payment in one place. That's the vision. And all of this happens on top of decentralized protocols that run on blockchains, being RSK the main one. And then you can go to the next one, please, Frank. And then for you, logistics is it's a large industry, it's a multi-trillion industry, and it touches everyone. We are focused on solving two major problems in logistics. To make this simple, one is called fragmentation. So in the US, for instance, you have just in one segment of the logistics industry, the trucking segment, you have 500,000 trucking companies working with 17,000 brokers and millions of shippers. And this replicates in every other market around the world. So they all work in silos. So as a result, one of our every 4 trucks runs empty. So this is a multi-billion-dollar problem, and it's also a problem for the environment, for traffic, for cost of goods. And the second problem that we are trying to solve is the lack of liquidity. Even though trucking companies move goods today and they need to pay for fuel and other expenses to deliver the goods, they usually get paid, believe it or not, 45, 60 days later. As a result, you have billions of dollars locked up in invoices. Next. So on the fragmentation, which is the first problem, a good way to think about this is multiple networks that are composed by shippers and trucking companies, but they all work in silos. So if you are trying to get an Uber, you might have a cab at your door, you go out, you never see that cab in the Uber app, right? So this is the problem that we're facing in logistics. Multiple networks or sub-networks that are not connected between them, and as a result, it's very difficult to optimize capacity with loads because they don't see each other. Next. So the solution to this problem in the centralized world with industries that were less fragmented than logistics, for instance, the air travel industry, already happened, right? We have examples where a bunch of airlines got together and funded a common backend. In this part of the world, it's called Amadeus. So basically, if you go today to Travelocity or Expedia or Despegar or any of these travel sites, you might go to one or the other because you like the UI, the user interface, or because they give you loyalty points, or perhaps you have better bundle of services. But in reality, all of those are sourcing pricing and availability of seats from the airlines in one backend. So the airlines were very smart long ago. They put it together, their heads together, the data together, and they allow all these online and offline retailers to go, or wholesalers to go and look for that availability of seats. That is what we're doing for logistics. it doesn't matter if you are a legacy broker with very little systems, you can use dexFreight Marketplace, or you might be a very advanced digital broker or digital intermediary with your own platform and UI. You can also connect to that decentralized protocol to source capacity and loads in one place. Next. And then the second problem that we talk about, and this is the one that Gaku mentioned on the DeFi solution, this was one of our early, this was so early that at the time DAI was launching. It didn't exist at the time. So the problem is, if you're a trucking company and you already delivered the goods, but now you have an invoice and you're gonna have 60 days to wait, how do we make that invoice liquid? That was the problem. NFT didn't exist at the time. So that was the idea. So we've been patiently waiting and working in tandem on collaboration with teams like the MakerDAO team, the Centrifuge team, the Money on Chain team, the Sovereign team. All of the teams are, because we are big believers on composability. There's no way we can think and build everything that's required. And we are very happy because all of these things are becoming a reality in the RSK ecosystem. So for this solution, what we do is we take those invoices, because every transaction happens using smart contracts. The two companies already signed the transaction. From that, we can create an NFT that is used with a fixed dollar amount, which is a real world asset. And then we use that asset as collateral in the DeFi ecosystem to bring liquidity and get that guy paid right away in a programmable and cheaper way than using traditional financing sources. Next. Okay, so a little bit on traction, where we are now. So we came out of beta last year. We have around 2,800 companies already in the platform. Among those, this is a kind of a little bit outdated number, but close to 1,000 carriers already did at least one transaction in the platform. And then we also launched the DeFi solution. We are funding transactions with a top line revenue already of $373,000. We have about 70,000 loads per day in the platform, which is a large number. And we are close to the $3 million worth of transactions of freight spend already in the platform. Next. And this is some news that we want to share, because in order for companies to interact with each other, we wanted to have this decentralized infrastructure so they can retain some of the value they create by joining a network, having the right incentive structure so they can exchange, because all of them are competing for customers and data, especially if they are digital. So the only way to do that, and the most successful Web3 platforms that have been created in the latest years, are focused on incentive, right? And they usually issue a token. You saw the BabelFish project, you see Sovereign, right? This is how people get engaged early and get excited about a project, and they commit to the project. But unfortunately, we are in the US market, and SEC regulations are very tough. So for the last 3 years, we haven't launched a token. We do have a protocol. We have the peer-to-peer network. We have the top layer, the marketplace. But for regulation purposes, we strategically didn't launch a token. And it turned out to be a good decision. The other projects like ShipChain got shut down by SEC back in December, even though they raised $30 million at the beginning. So in that journey, first we raised a $500,000 friends and family round. Then we raised a seed A round of $2.7 million. But we were always wanting to let the community own the platform, even if we didn't have a token just yet. So we launched a crowdfunding campaign. There was a big update on this regulation due to the pandemic last year, where we could go for a total of $5 million raised from non-accredited investors, meaning people that, even though they have $1 million worth of assets, they could invest in the project. Truck drivers, logistics professionals, dispatchers, anybody. So this is something we launched a couple of weeks ago. We're already this is live on Star Engine. You can go to dexFreight.io and look for it there. We're very excited because now we have a lot of people. I think it's 200 investors. This is actually non-accredited, a lot of them non-accredited, that are already part of this community. And it was kind of the missing piece before a main launch of a protocol. So those are the news that I have to share with you. Happy to see the progress of all the other projects here, Gaku. Excited as always.
Thank you so much, Hector. It's it's amazing to see the traction figures and how much and how fast dexFreight is growing. And I'm sure many in the RSK community and the Bitcoin community also would like to participate and support the dexFreight marketplace. It's another, the crowdfunding platform that you're using is another way to decentralize the ownership and to get a community to participate. And I think it's a great news for everyone in the space. So congratulations for you and the whole team. Keep on moving fast and getting blockchain technology and DeFi for Bitcoin into the logistics market in the US. It's mind-blowing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hector. And with this, we move to our last speaker. This is a new rising star project coming live into DeFi for Bitcoin and RSK. We have Simon from Bundle Finance. So welcome to the team and welcome to the stage, Simon. I think you are muted. There we go. Now you're fine.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everybody. Simon from Bundles here. So, yeah, we're very excited to be coming over to the RSK chain. We started our project back in October last year on the Ethereum chain. Now, there's just a little video in the background that just shows, you know, how the prediction pools work. But I'm happy to.
Let us know when you want to show the video. Maybe you want to do an intro first, and then we watch the video. It's up to you. Let us know.
Okay, let's have a short intro first of all. So yeah, Bundle started in October last year. We're originally on the Ethereum blockchain, and our core products are prediction pools. So these are pools where users have the opportunity to test their prediction skills, and those prediction skills are measured against other participants within the pools. So it doesn't really matter so much whether the prices of cryptos are going up or down. Your results are based upon your performance in relation to the other participants. So our target audience is, I'd say, people who are on the slightly less sophisticated side of the DeFi ecosystem. So it's people who are looking for an easy solution with which to test their prediction skills without having to know a great deal of knowledge with regard to futures, derivatives, leverage trading, that type of thing. So we launched our pools in October. Originally, we're on the Ethereum blockchain, very successful for the first sort of 2 or 3 months. But then, as I think is most people's main issue with the Ethereum chain, the gas fees became extremely prohibitive for people to participate within the pools. The benefits, the rewards they could get for participating were, you know, largely taken up by the huge gas fees that it costs to participate within them. So we began to look for a solution on another chain with much cheaper gas fees, and we thought that RSK was the best option for us. I know a lot of other projects have gone down the Binance Smart Chain route, and more recently the Polygon route, but you know, we felt in terms of, you know, a long-term partner, strategic partner, we thought that RSK was the best option for us. And we've been very happy with the service, the support that we've received so far. So yeah, we're very excited to bring the pools to RSK. Now we'll put a little video demonstration on, which I'll also talk over, which just shows how easy it is to participate within the pools.
Perfect. Let's go ahead with the video then.
Thank you.
Fran,
you have the video, right? Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so there's the homepage there. So from there, you have a choice of going on to our Ethereum application or our RSK application. So we go through the RSK application, then we have a choice of a high risk or low risk bundle. So we've chosen there. Then you just obviously need to connect your wallet to the platform. We actually just finished our integration with Liquidity Wallet today, but this video was filmed yesterday, so hence it's MetaMask. First of all, you choose a username. Now, this is your username that will stay with you throughout all the prediction pools. It doesn't have to be a real name. It can be a pseudonym or whatever you like. So that is stored on chain just for anti-fraud measures, so that users know that we have provided the fairest results in terms of the competition. So once you've done that, you just need to put some of your RBUN tokens, which is the RSK version of the bundle token, approve those to be used on the platform, which is happening now. Once that's done, you'll then have the ability to start staking those RBUN tokens in the prediction pools. So within the pools, you have a choice at the moment of 10 cryptocurrencies. You have to choose which one or which bundle of currencies, which is where the name came from, you think will perform best over the pool period. And we have a variety of pool periods. So I think I've run a little bit ahead of the video, so just bear with me a second. So obviously, for the purpose of this presentation, we couldn't really choose any other coin but Bitcoin to be the best performing token. So we chose Bitcoin, and then you can see the Bitcoin token has been chosen as the asset that's going to perform best. So there you can see, how long's left in the pool and your performance at any running time. We also have a leaderboard and a Hall of Fame. So we bring a competitive element to it as well. So you can see in real time how you're doing compared to other users. And if you've won a pool, you'll enter the Hall of Fame and have your prediction skills for people to be able to see for the future. So yeah, we should be, our pools are obviously live now, but we're going to be launching the beginning of September with a marketing campaign. And it'd be really great if the people that are watching today could participate in the pools. And we're also available on RSK Swap as well. So you can buy the bridged version of Bund, which is our Bund, on RSK Swap now. So yeah, short but sweet. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Simon. Congratulations. Very, very interesting. It would be nice in the future if we could create an NFT for the winner of the pool, no? So you can show off with your friends. Look what I've done.
Yeah, actually, the other side of the bundles ecosystem at the moment on the Ethereum chain is we have a just launched boutique NFT marketplace. So we launch boutique NFT drops, and we're hoping to bring that over to RSK in the coming months. So yeah, I think that would be a great idea to provide somebody with an NFT trophy effectively.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Simon, and also thanks for the kind words about the RSK ecosystem and the reasons why you've chosen RSK. It's fully in line with the vision and the reasons why we as a community created RSK, to make sure that Bitcoin security was available to every single project in the space at the lowest possible fee with the highest possible security. So it is with great joy that I hear your words saying that actually RSK came really in handy for your project to use the security of DeFi for Bitcoin. So welcome to the RSK ecosystem. I encourage everyone in the community to test, to experiment with bundles, and also provide feedback. Any other wallets and projects that will want to integrate also, where can they contact you or the project? What's the best way, Simon?
So bundles.finance is our web address. And at the bottom there, you'll see our Twitter, our Telegram, our Discord. So yeah, go to bundles.finance and you can find our social media links from there. And I'm often on the chat on Telegram at least a couple of times a week. So ask me a question and I'll respond as soon as I can.
Thank you so much, Simon, and thank you so much to everyone that participated today in the RSK Ecosystem Update. We'll be in touch and back soon with the next RSK community call and soon with another RSK Ecosystem Update. Here you have the emails of all our speakers, my email and Mac's email also. If you have a project on another blockchain that you want to make available on RSK, or if you're thinking on a project on idea and looking forward to support to make that project available on RSK, make sure you connect with Max. You know, let's keep all on the expectations on the launch of Bitcoin as legal tender in El Salvador. As I said before, let's support this country and this Bitcoin law, and do as much as we can to make sure this is a success. Next month, we're going to get together on the next RSK Ecosystem Fund, next RSK Ecosystem Update, with already the first country in the world using Bitcoin as legal tender, which is just mind-blowing. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here with us today, and see you soon. Bye-bye.